Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are baking one of my all-time favorite cookies, oatmeal raisin cookies. Now, there are people in my family who weren't a fan of oatmeal raisin cookies, and after trying this recipe, they are now. If you are looking for the softest, chewiest, most delicious oatmeal raisin cookie, look no further. These are it. As always, I will leave all the ingredients and their measurements in the description box below. For this recipe, you will need some raisins, some hot water to soak them in, unsalted butter softened at room temperature, salt, some cinnamon powder, some baking soda, some rolled old-fashioned oats, an egg, some vanilla extract, some light brown sugar, and some flour. So before we start mixing any of our ingredients together, the first thing you want to go ahead and do is soak your raisins in some hot water. I'm using 1 cup of raisins and 1 cup of hot water. You just want to soak them in there and set them aside. Then in a large bowl, I'm just going to mix together my dry ingredients, so my rolled oats together with my flour and my baking soda, my salt, and my cinnamon powder. Just give them a quick mix. So the first thing you want to do is cream together your butter and sugar. I used my standing mixer fitted with my paddle attachment. However, you can totally do this with a hand mixer. What I would recommend is that you cream together your butter and sugar and mix in your wet ingredients using your hand mixer. And then after that, I would recommend that you do this by hand because your dough will start to get very thick and it'll be really hard to work with a whisk attachment. Once your butter and sugar have creamed together nicely, you want to go ahead and just add in your vanilla extract. Then add your egg. So what I did was I just stopped my mixer and I gave my bowl a little bit of a scrape just to make sure everything was getting nice and incorporated. And now we're ready to start adding in our dry ingredients. We're going to add our dry ingredients in thirds just to make sure that everything gets nice and combined. If you're using a hand mixer, this is the point where I would recommend that you stop and fold these ingredients in by hand. So you want to mix this just until the dough is combined. You don't want to overmix this because you will change the texture of the cookies. Once your dough is ready to go, we're going to add in our raisins that had been soaking. Drain the water first and pat them dry with a paper towel. And then you want to go ahead and add them into your bowl. Next, you want to go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And I lined a baking sheet with some parchment paper. And what I did was I took a large tablespoon and all I did was just form a little ball in my hands. They come together really quickly. This is a really sticky, soft dough. So they're going to come together really quickly. The balls don't have to be perfect. Just make them round. If you want to make them smaller, you can make them smaller. If you want to make them larger, go ahead and make them larger. I will say if you are using a tablespoon, these spread out in the oven pretty large. So I only bake 6 at a time. What you want to do is go ahead and push down on your cookies before putting them into bake, and that's just going to help them flatten out. And once your cookies are ready to go, you want to pop them into the oven and bake them anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. For me, I like them a little bit on the crispier side. So what I will say about these cookies is that they come out super soft and chewy on the inside, and they have those golden brown crispy edges that make them just absolutely perfect. So if you want to achieve that crispy, chewy kind of cookie, I would leave them in for 15 minutes, depending on how your oven cooks. For me, 15 minutes is just right. Once your cookies come out of the oven, you want to go ahead and place them on a cooling rack for them to cool completely. These will still be soft and chewy, but you do want to wait for them to cool. I know waiting is so hard, especially when your house smells so delicious. As you can see, the cookie is super soft, super chewy. Go ahead and pair this with a glass of milk or just eat them on their own. They are so good, guys. I really hope that you give this recipe a try. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for clicking in on the video. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!